welcome to Homebrew Wild and Cheap. So it has been about a week and it's been an eventful week for myself. So I am in my lounge pants. I've had my hospital appointment, which turned out good, but still a bit sore, so you know, stuff happens. So it is now December, as you can tell with the Christmas lights, because I had a mini Christmas, which was awesome. So I'm starting a new brew, as you can see. Mainly because this one is particularly for my other half, because she has a child's palate and can't drink normal alcohol because it contains too many sulfides in it. Gives her a really bad hangover, as opposed to just a bad hangover. So what we're making today is a tea wine. Oh yeah, a lovely tea wine. And what you're going to need for this, if you want to make this, is a kilo of cheeky sugar. This was like 45p. You'll need some zesty purple berries. I got these ones from Morrison's. I found that these, I've tried a few brands. This one is awesome for what it's for. Now, I don't just make a tea wine by just taking the tea bags and doing it. A lot of people do that. I add a little bit extras in, mainly for flavour and just, you know, because I can. So, got my hydrometer, put it just in there, why not? So I have here 2 thawing bananas. I'm using the bananas as kind of like a thickener. It worked quite well. It makes it into sort of like a port/sherry style wine. Why not? I can. She likes it, so I don't mind. And my other amendment, which I add in, which both of these aren't necessary, you're still going to end up with something that's quite nice, just using the tea bags, is 300 ml of blackberries. Now these are the blackberries I picked a while ago. I have quite a lot of them still, so I just sort of use them as I see fit. So this is 300 ml of blackberries. Again, it's not needed. This contains all the stuff that you need. So it's a fairly straightforward brew, which is pretty cool. So step 1 in this really difficult brew is we open up our packet of tea bags, and we're going to count. To make a gallon batch, which I'm doing because I have my thing sterilizing, we need around 20 tea bags. Around 2, 4, 6, 8, 22. Just keeping it lovely, lovely and simple, and these smell really good. You can smell the berries and zesty. But it's a really good one. Now we put it in our pan, just like so. In goes the blackberries. Move the hydrometer out of the way. And we take our bananas. These ones were frozen just because they were fantastically cheap, and I like things that are cheap. And we just peel out the skin, and as you can tell here, because these were lovely and ripe when I put them in to freeze, we got a nasty looking thing. But it's tasty, it is good, it's perfect for home brewing or smoothie making. And just pull this one out. You can see how all the pulp material, all the bits of the banana are just sort of all there, which is perfect for what we're trying to do because it kind of makes it pulpy, and all the sugars and stuff, it tastes really good, very sweet. So next we're going to take 2 litres of boiled water, which I have just over here, and just going to reboil it to make sure it's nice and boiled. Pour it in. That's funny enough, 2 litre mark in my kettle fills it slightly over where it should be, so it leaks. But I still get 2 litres, so that's cool. And in goes our boiled water. Now the reason that I'm adding in the blackberries and the bananas into this tea bag infusion is, 1, it sterilizes it, so it's just one less thing you're going to have to... I don't need to hold on to this. So, I'm back again. And that smells really good. So I'm adding in the blackberries and I'm adding in the bananas because the boiling water is going to sterilize any bacteria or any yeast or anything else that shouldn't be on there. So it's just, if you're going to add in these extras, add them in the boil. You can boil it on a pan and a hob if you want, but it's not really needed because it's tea bags. All we really need is a big spoon. A big spoon. Oh yeah. And basically we just swirl it around a bit, push up the bananas. Smells really good. I know I slayed my other half. It's funny. So, I'm giving this a nice little stir, and basically we just got to leave this to cool down. You can add in the cold water directly, but this really kind of stews the flavours out of the tea bags. I have played around with tea bag amounts. You can add more than 22 tea bags, but it was a trade-off. Anything less than 20, you don't really get a berry flavour. Anything more, and it can be seen as a bit too strong. It's just personal preference. If you want, you can add in a whole lot of these tea bags. I mean, it was 75p for this lovely bag of zingy purple berries, sorry. And it has, well, let's have a look. It has blueberries, blackberries, and acacia berries. Oh yeah. But it also contains blackberry leaves, because they also contain the flavour. Yeah, it's just a tea bag. I found that these work really, really well. You end up with a nice colour. So I'm just, like I said, this is the part where I go and mix everything about and just sort of squidge it, because the banana needs to sort of separate out and the blackberries sort of squidge them a bit. It's just to get as much juice out as possible. It makes it a lot easier, I think. This is what is left of my other half's supply of, as I call it, gok juice. It's a fun name. So you may be wondering, what does it taste like? So this is very mildly sparkling. It's done on purpose, fortunately. And I'm just going to take out a little dribble because I'm not a fan. It's a bit too sweet for my liking. But it smells really good. You get lots of, funny enough, berry flavours. It's got a nice colour. Sort of like a rosé, but it's a berry rosé. Sweet and strong. Now it's not overly sweet, but it's sweet enough that you can taste the berries, and it's quite nice. It's very mildly sparkling. You know, bubbles. Means she drinks less of it, because everyone knows when an alcoholic beverage is carbonated, it hits you quicker. Oh, it's not my thing, but she loves the stuff, so I really can't argue. So we just basically, this has all been steeped, so I'm just going to leave this for about 20 minutes and I'll be back. Right, so it has been about just under 20 minutes. Thought I'd be exact, just so you know. This hasn't really cooled down that much. It's still pretty damn hot, but the tea bags have infused all of their flavours. I mean, it is really dark to the point where it's staining the spoon, which is what we want because we want all the flavours to be extracted. So before we start fishing around and putting it in the demijohn, which I just finished sterilising, so I'll put the link to my sterilising video, because, you know, I'm cheap, so that's how I do it. I'm going to take my kilo of sugar, and I'm going to add it in. Since it's still hot, going to have a bit of fun. And plus, a kilo of sugar is pretty easy to get hold of, and you don't really need a hydrometer, because, you know, we know what it is. Well, you guys will know what it is if you do the same thing. I'll use my hydrometer and you get to see what percentage it is. It's pretty handy. Got myself my lovely kettle with just some cold water in here. It's just, so it is about another litre approximately. You want to make sure you go under the 5 litres, because your demijohn is 5 litres, and you can always top it up, but you don't want to waste the loveliness, which is the tea bags, or the flavours, I suppose. So now we just go around, and we can take out the tea bags, give them a squeeze, clean hands. I'd like to point out, clean hands. I've just finished sterilising the demijohn, so I have, funny enough, relatively sterilised hands. So I just go through. I want to take out the tea bags, but I want to kind of leave the blackberries and any bits of banana in there because they take slightly longer to extract their flavours and juices, and we're going to, fair enough, siphon this out so the berries will stay in the bottom. Oh, no, that's banana. Since it's very cool, I'm just start pulling out these tea bags. So we've now got a lovely, well, 5 litre water bottle, as you can tell. I left the label on because this is quite an old one actually. In homebrewing terms, this is an antique, but hasn't been used very much. I use it to store some alcohol. Smells fresh, it is clean, and it's been scrubbed. Awesome. So now we've got the relatively easy task, I should say. Famous last words. Yeah. Now we have the easy task of putting this in here. Unfortunately, I bought this off eBay and it came with a dink, so this should be relatively easy to pour in with all the bits. Like I said, it's famous last words, so lovely, lovely. Now it has all the pulpy stuff in here, which is on purpose. I mean, because the blackberries is going to give a bit of tannin, obviously some extra flavour. The bananas in it are going to give sort of a bit of starch, and also their sugars, which is going to make this, funny enough, more like a port and a sherry, like I said earlier before. But it's what she likes and how she likes it. You don't have to add anything. You can just add in a couple extra tea bags, or just do the same as me. Just don't add it in. And so now we're just going to top it up. Let's see. Check that, almost like I knew what I was doing. So, I'm going to put the lid on and give this a really good shake. Then we're going to test it with a hydrometer. It should be about 11-ish%. So, and the unfortunate thing about these berry things is they will stain. So I'm wearing the wrong t-shirt. But can't get the lid on now. There we go. Feeling feeble. So we've mixed around all the sugars and the water. And I'll pop you in. Dum dum dum. Got to do the wandering around going, what is it? Okay, so it is actually 12.5%. Now that's from the banana sugars and a little bit from the blackberry sugars. But that's okay. That's a very decent, funny enough, percentage. Lovely. I need things and I haven't got things. I'm going to label this up because I can, and we are right here. Then we're going to do our amendments and it's going to be awesome. Really? Going well so far today. I'll put you there. Put you there. Ah. So I managed to rip the label because I am awesome, but Zesty Berry Tea Wine, 12%. I was either that or Dark Brew, but I don't think she'd be too pleased. So I got myself some new yeast nutrient. It's very simple. Each one is very slightly different. I didn't throw it everywhere, but this is pretty good actually. It was £4 and I got 100 grams. But I got it delivered to my door and I didn't have to drive 60 miles to get it. So 1 teaspoon, okay, 1 rounded teaspoon, or just 1 teaspoon, and it goes, since it likes to be heaped, it seems. And I'm going to be using the all-purpose red for this. Now if you don't have all-purpose red, the universal white does just as well. But I have the red and it's quite nice for the red, so I'm going to use it. If not, you can use the cider yeast, does the same thing. Basically, but we just want extra flavour, so just in goes a light sprinkle. And if you're wanting a suggested amount, this 5 gram packet makes 5 gallons normally. I obviously make more, but I know that my sterilizing works and I'm confident that I can do it. So if you're not, take 1 gram of that 5 grams and that will make a gallon batch. As you get more into your homebrew, you can use less. It does slow it down for the first 24 to 48 hours, but it's alcohol, it takes time no matter what, so an extra 2 days, I'm not really fussed myself. So now I've put the lid on tight and I'm going to give it a mix around. Now this is to make sure that all the yeast nutrient and the yeast has been mixed. It's got oxygen in there, and this is nice and cool to the touch because we added in the cold, and as you saw. So basically this is going to sit and just ferment away. It's going to take a couple weeks longer than normal because it is winter, and pardon me, even with my heating on it gets a little chilly, so yeah, it happens. So this is now the tea wine. Oh yeah. So basically I hope you enjoyed. Basically, no. I forgot to do that. That could have been explosive later on. So now it's all been shaken up, I just put the lid on. Just got a little bit of play, but it's not on tight. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. So yeah, catch you later.